There, this is my pool, and I'm Mike, and I'm going to show you today how to go about vacuuming out my pool. Alright, there's several steps that we need to do before we vacuum the pool, and I'm going to help explain a few things about the pool to make you understand these steps a little better. At the bottom of the deep end right there is a drain that returns water to the pool pump. There is also another return here. This is the skimmer or skimmer basket. Oop, there's a can of beer in there. That's pretty classy. What happens is water goes into the skimmer and carries dirt and debris off the top of the pool and sucks it into that basket. And the drain at the bottom of the pool also sucks up stuff that has drifted to the bottom of the pool. Let's go back here and look at the pool pump and filter setup. This is the pump and filter. This is the power to the pump. And this little gadget right here, most of the stuff is worn off it. But where it is right now at 3 o'clock, it is sucking half from the drain at the bottom of the pool and half from the skimmer basket. When it's pointed at 9 o'clock, it's also doing half and half. When it's pointed at 12 o'clock, it is sucking 100% from the drain, and when it's pointed at 6 o'clock, it's sucking 100% from the skimmer. To most effectively use the vacuum in the skimmer basket, we want to suck 100% from the skimmer. So I'm going to turn it from half and half to just about 6 o'clock. Now, you can turn it from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock while the pump is still running. You can turn it from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock while the filter is running. Do not turn it from here to here or here to here while the pump is running, because this is closed on both ends and it's just bad. Don't do that. Alright, this is our vacuum and hose right here. This end we're going to put on an extension, and this is where we actually, this is actually the vacuum head. This end is what we're going to put in the skimmer basket. Alright, I've got my vacuum head in the water, and I have laid the hose out on the surface of the pool with the end of it over by the hole that we're going to end up putting it in. Now, right now the hose is filled with air, and the pump will have a hard time with it trying to suck the water through 20 or 30 feet of air. So what I'm going to do is use this old squeegee thing, and I'm going to start from the vacuum head end and start pulling the hose under the water and getting the air out of it. So I'm just going to kind of hook it on there and pull it down and hold it down. And gradually it will start filling up with water. Alright, maybe not perfect, but there's at least a good amount of water in there. I've already cleaned all the crap out of the skimmer basket. If there's chlorine pucks in there, I typically take those out, since this is going to get all filled up with junk. Alright, so this is the fun part. I always kind of hook the end of it next to the ladder right there so it doesn't float away from me. Alright, get as much water in there as possible, and then attach it in there, and you'll see as it starts to suck stuff through it, the hose will kind of jump around a little bit. You'll notice we still have water coming out of the jets, which means that it is sucking water in, because it's not sucking anything from the drain right now. So now we just take our vacuum and slide it around the bottom of the pool. And as we do that, it's sucking up dirt and debris. And one of the important things to do is go all the way down to the deep end, which is down here. And use the vacuum down in the deep end, because that's where all the leaves and stuff end up, and usually end up in the corners. So if you can go to the bottom of the ramp down to the deep end and kind of find the four corners of the deep end, that's usually where a lot of leaves end up. When I'm vacuuming the deep end, what I typically do is gently lift up and down on the pole. So as the vacuum head hits the bottom of the pool, it stirs things up. And then when you lift it up a little bit, it allows the stuff that you've stirred up to get sucked into the end of the vacuum. You can also then slide the vacuum across the bottom and pull it back toward you. Inevitably, the water pressure coming out of the jets will go down as more and more things clog both the filter and the skimmer basket. And you'll see that we've even lost suction here on the vacuum because there is so much debris inside the skimmer basket. Now, I'm not going to try to pull that out right now because the suction is going to be great enough that I probably will have a hard time getting it out of there. So I'm going to go shut the pump off, and then we'll see about getting that basket out of here. Alright, I'll spare you my emptying the basket, which I can't do while holding the phone, but basically I'm just going to take it out of there, dump it back there in the mulch, and then return it. Alright, we've got good water pressure again, our skimmer basket's clean. I'm going to go for round 2. Another skimmer full of leaves, so I'm going to go shut off the pump again. Step is we're going to empty the basket inside the pump. We'll do that by turning these dials, and you don't have to turn them all the way or they'll come out, but just turn them a little bit. You can push them over to the side, lid comes off, basket comes out. Pretty clean. Put the basket back in, lid back on. Now finally, the final thing we're going to do is backwash the sand filter. When we're vacuuming and just in regular use, the sand filter ends up with a lot of algae and scuzz and stuff in it. Now I'm going to put this guy back at 3 o'clock, so we're sucking from both the drain and the skimmer. I'm going to move this handle, which you do by pushing down on it, and then slide it all the way down to backwash. Do not ever move this handle while the pump is on. And then once it's on backwash and we're at 3 o'clock, we'll turn the pump back on. It'll take a couple seconds for it to fill up with water. And then you can see in that little glass piece right there, that's the scuzz that's in the filter that is getting washed out of the filter and into that pipe and goes all the way over there under those evergreen trees. And I'm going to get the vacuum out of the pool. Typically what I do is start pulling the end that goes in the skimmer, and then once I get it to about the same amount as the pole, I grab both of them
Alright, let's go back and see how the backwashing of the filter is going. Oh, it's getting a little better. We kind of want it to be clear. Alright, that's looking like it's pretty clear. So, again, don't ever move that with the pump on. So I'm going to shut the pump back off. Now I'm going to move it from backwash to rinse. Basically, the way the filter works is that water comes in from the pump, goes through the top of the filter, through the sand to the bottom, where it comes back up a pipe and goes from here back to the pool. When you backwash the filter, it reverses the direction of these two things, so that when the water comes in, it goes down the tube to the bottom and flushes back up to the top and then comes out this pipe right here. Now that we've done that, all the sand has been dislodged. So now what we're going to do is when we put it on rinse, the water comes in from here again, goes down from the top as it's supposed to, but rather than rinsing out into the pool, it's going to go out the waste pipe. So we're going to do that for about 30 seconds. And maybe not even that long. And you can kind of see, you know, it looks a little bit scuzzy as it's going back the other direction, but that'll clear up here in a second. Alright, that looks pretty clear. Shut this off. Turn it back to filter. And now we're done. One last thing that there is to check is the level of the pool water. If the water's too low, the skimmer, we can't get water into the skimmer, and that skimmer won't work effectively. So if you can see on there, there's a little arrow that marks the height the water needs to be. I usually try to keep it between the arrow and this screw right here, so somewhere around here. So I'm going to go throw the hose in for maybe 20 minutes or so. We'll see what happens. I got the hose filling the pool back up. I think we're done with dealing with the pool for today, so now there's only one thing to do. Have a drink and relax. For now. Cheers.